Hello everyone and welcome to another lesson of Python. Today we are going to explore how to read and set parameter values. The objective of this workflow is that we are going to combine these two out-of-box nodes into one Python script. For those who are familiar with the Dynamo, with the node Element.GetParamaterValueByName, we are going to get the value of the parameters, and with the other one, Element.SetParamaterValueByName, we set the parameter value of that element. With this script, we are going to actually include these two nodes into one Python script. But before we get started, let me explain you the structure of the Python script. In the first block, we are going to import necessary libraries. Particularly in this video, I'm going to explain each line again. In the second block, we're going to set up our inputs. And in the third one, we are going to retrieve instance and type parameter and convert the storage type of the parameters to a string. And then we are going to finally get feeded parameters to the Python node and format the target parameter as we wish and set the values. Now, without further ado, let's dive in. My goal today is to first of all collect the elements that we need. Particularly for this tutorial, I'm going to collect the doors, but that can be used for the other categories as well. First of all, we are going to collect the values of these parameters: frame material, finish, mark, and type mark, and write them down to this parameter schedule tag. Remember that this is the this should be a multi-line text because we are going to write line by line each parameter, each value of these parameters here. Now let's open Dynamo. I'm using Revit 2026 and Dynamo version is 3.5.2, and the Python engine is CPython 3. Now let's open Dynamo and edit it. I'm going to clear this up to here and we start over again. Now, first of all, we need to import the Common Language Runtime CLR module. This allows Python to load and interact with .NET assemblies, which is required to access the Revit API. So now I'm going to write import CLR. Next one, we are going to add a reference to the core Revit API assembly, which is Revit API.dll file. Without this, Python would not know any Revit classes. So we are going to say CLR add references, and we are going to add Revit API. Now we are going to import all public classes from the Autodesk.Revit.database namespace. This includes elements, parameter, storage type, materials, etc. This is not the best practice to import all these classes, but we are going to do this for this tutorial. We say from Autodesk .Revit database imports all. And we need to add another reference to Dynamo's Revit Service Assembly. This provides helper classes for document access and transactions. Add reference. Now we're going to import the class responsible for accessing the active Revit document. We're going to say from Revit services dot persistence import documents manager. And another one which manages Revit transactions inside Dynamo. And we create a variable named doc. This variable stores a reference to the currently open Revit document. We say document manager dot instance dot current database document. Now we are good with the important libraries, and we go to the next block. We need 3 inputs for this Python script. We are going to add them. Let's search for categories node and all element of category. This one. Through this true out of box node, we are going to actually collect our elements. For our purpose, we are going to collect a door element, and we need 2 other inputs. I'm going to write down in a code block a list of source parameters, which is they should be like let me see, a frame material, and then we had actually finish, and then mark, and the final one was type mark. And we need another one, which is actually the target parameter, and we named it schedule underscore tag, I believe. Let me check this to make sure schedule underscore tag. Yeah. All right. And then we feed it as a third input. And in the Python script, I'm going to name the first input element. And since those are the Revit element, we are going to unwrap them. And our second input was source parameter. I'm going to name it source underscore params. One. And our last parameter input was target. Now we set up our inputs and we are going to the next block of defining of a new function. As I said, we are going to define a new function named get underscore parameter underscore value. This function takes two arguments, element, a Revit element, and name, which stands for a string representing a parameter name. Now within this function, we are going to attempt to retrieve the parameter from the element instance. I'm using lookup parameter method. And now we are going to say if the parameter is not found on the instance, then retrieve the element type associated with this element and then get the type element and try to retrieve the parameter from the type. I'm going to say if not P, we're going to retrieve the type of element. That's the method. And we say if you find type element, then search for the type parameter. And now we are going to say if the parameter was not found on either instance or type, return an empty string to avoid errors and keep the function safe. So we're going to say if not p, then return nothing. Now we need to check if the parameter stores a string value. We say if p dot storage type equals to storage type dot string, then return the storage type of that parameter as a string. Or an empty string, otherwise an empty string. We should repeat this conditional format for other type of storages. So we're going to say stores an element ID. We say if p dot storage type equals to storage type dot element ID, then retrieve the element ID values. As element ID, and we say if an element ID with integer value -1 means no value assigned. So let me explain this again. We say if element ID the integer value -1 means no value assigned to. In this case, retrieve the referenced element from the document. We say ref underscore element, and from the current document get element, and we pass the element ID. And in this case, return the reference element's name property if it exists. We say return the name of that if exists, otherwise an empty string. Like this. Now we're going to check if the parameter stores a double values. In this case, again, return the value of that parameter as a string. We are going to repeat these two lines for the final step. Actually, let me just clear this, and here we search for the integer as integer. And finally, we fall back return value and ensure the function always return a string. Now with this, we start a Revit transaction. Any modification to the Revit model must occur inside a transaction. Now we create an empty Python list. This list will store the final text written for each element. Now we start a loop that iterates over each Revit element in the list. We retrieve the value of the first source parameter. We are going to name it frame val. And from the function that we created before, we say get parameter underscore value. And from the element, we get the very first parameter of our list, which is this one, frame material. We are going to repeat this line for the other parameters that we feed it. I'm going to copy and paste, and here I'm going to change this to finish value, name it val, and this should be other parameter, the second one actually, and copy and paste for the mark parameter, and final one for the type mark. Now we are going to create a multi-line formatted string. I'm going to name it combined text. And for the first parameter, I'm going to name it frame mat. And we need a placeholder as 0. And we're going to /r/n. These two basically what they do is used to create new lines that Revit correctly interprets. All right, we're going to repeat this line for the other parameter as well. I'm going to name this one finish mat. Obviously another placeholder. And for the third one, which was mark, this is 2. And the final one, which is type mark. And obviously because we are in the last line, we don't need the go to the new line. So I'm going to clear this. And we are going to format this one too. And we basically through the parameter names, which were frame val, which we created here, and the last one. With this, we are almost there, but we need to retrieve the target parameter from the element instance. We are going to say type parameter, and from the elements, I'm going to use lookup parameter method. And pass target param, sorry, which was our third input. And we are going to check that the parameter exists and is not read-only. We say if you find type parameter and not is read only, then write the formatted text into the parameter. That's how we set the value to the target parameter. Actually, we feed this one. Let me copy and paste to make sure that we are passing through the correct text, and then we are going to append the written values to the results list, which we created here. If answers, append obviously this one. Otherwise, none. If the parameter cannot be written, append none means. And with this, we need to close our transaction. Transaction task done. And final step would be our output, which is the list of results. All right, that's it. I hope this works when we run the Dynamo. Let's see, I'm going to expect to have 4 lines of those parameters with these values which we explained in the starting of this video. Now let's run this script. Let's see if that worked. We should close the parameter and let's run this again. Line 15.1 and 15.22. Let's check this out. Right. In line 60, let's see what we've got here. Lookup. This should be target param. A few errors occurred here. Let me clarify this because first of all, here I've got one indentation wrong. Actually, if we not P, if you don't find P, then look up for the element type and the parameters of the type. And if you don't find anything, return an empty string, right? So I've got this indentation of this block correctly right now, and then we misspelled here. This should be placeholder number 4th, starting from 0 actually, and then here I misspelled manager. And the final error was here that actually for the target parameter we don't need any list. Actually we need the code block of the string, the name of the parameter. And now let me run the script, see if we get the final result as we expected. I hope so. Let's check this from the elements, I'm going to search the door, for example. Here, as you can see, we actually ended up with the multi-line parameter, including all those four parameters that we feed it into Python script. I hope this tutorial would be useful for you guys, and if you find it useful, comment it and share it. Thank you for now, and have a good day.